and we will be moving right into our Vernon Township Supervisors meeting for October 7th, 2021. And we'll start with prayer and salute to the flag. Supervisor Title will lead us in prayer.
Bless us as we gather today for this meeting. Guide our minds and hearts so that we will work for the good of our community and help all your people. Teach us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in face of difficulty, and wise in our decisions. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Try to do the same.
Okay, Amy, can we have roll call, please?
Snyder,
Present.
Maloney,
Here.
Viera,
Present.
Wagner,
Here.
Smith.
Okay, thank you. Open to citizen comment. Any citizen comments this evening? Yes, sir. You can come right up here, sir, and tell us who you are.
You know, we haven't seen it right here, so.
Oh, I was going to let you know.
We got an extra seat.
Sorry, I wasn't clear there.
Have a seat.
Sure. Make yourself comfortable.
I'm Gene Shoemaker. I'm also president of Vernon Township Volunteer Fire Department. And I've got a couple of questions for the township supervisors. Why, of all of a sudden, we're getting treated like 5- and 6-year-olds on calls? They had a call just like 2 weeks ago, trailer fire down here on Pine Street. And Cochran got called, which is further away. We had 2 trucks down there with full crews on that wasn't even touched. And they are a lot closer, I feel, than Cochran would be. I know the call was in Union Township, and we don't cover Union Township, but I still think we should have been called. At the same time, they also had a search call from over here by the hospital that we wasn't even called for. They called Coney Lake. Now, what is the situation here?
What was the second call? I'm sorry.
A search.
Oh, search.
That search for
gentleman who was
some
lost.
Yeah, yeah.
Who made the calls?
Vernon Central,
Well, who tapped out the fire departments? The
county.
okay. The question, Gary?
Yeah, that was my question.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous that we're getting left out of everything. And also, I've been around the department for 45 years, and 79 has been the boundary since they put 911 in.
Right.
That was the boundary lines for both departments, really. Any call that we have, now the UCIP building just the other night had a call. We got canceled. There was nothing wrong, which is fine. But we got canceled, but they never even got a truck out of the barn. Which I don't understand. What's going on? That's all my speech. I just have, our guys, we've got certs and everything so far. We've turned them over into the township. And I don't know whether you guys have seen all of them or not. I know the township manager does, or has. We've had meetings with him. And the chief of Vernon Central was supposed to come down to our station and have drills with us once in a while, and he's only been to one all summer. So I don't know what's going on. But
I think we
better
contact
get
the
one
county
in.
to see what's going on.
get to a solution on this.
Gary, I did. When that call happened on Pine Tree Road, or Pine Tree Lane? Pine Tree Lane. When that happened, I called down to the county and said, hey, how was this dispatched? And I talked to Greg Beveridge down there, and it was dispatched per the grid that location is in. So Vernon Central lays out their grids in a pre-plan that they have a first alarm, second alarm, third alarm. The grid then dictates, is based off the geographic area. So that way the county pulls it up, they open it up, they say, all right, this address is in this location, it's in this grid, so we dispatch that grid. They dispatch the first alarm off that grid. The second alarm has Vernon Volunteer Fire Department on it. However, they didn't utilize their entire second alarm because it was just a trailer fire. The officer that was on scene or in charge of that call just requested, I think, one additional unit, like from Concorton, I think is what it was.
But I guess what my original question is Vernon Volunteers being excluded? Has the grid changed all of a sudden?
Yeah.
It has.
Had they changed the grid so that the Vernon Volunteers have been excluded?
If it's in Union Township,
No, I don't care about that. I mean, I care about it, but I realize that Union Township's a separate deal. But
Right.
have they changed the grid so that the volunteers have been excluded from a portion of the township?
I'm not aware if they changed.
From what I've understood. I've had, Fire Chief of Meadville even asked, I've got information that he says, well, why wasn't you guys called to that fire too? Which made more sense of going, it took Cochran 17 minutes to get up here. We could have had a truck here in 5,
Right.
which makes a lot more sense than going clear down there. So,
I think we have to.
I think somebody's better check
here.
into what's going into county to eliminate us. And then they also, every time we get a call this side or the other side of 79, both departments are tapped.
Yes.
But then they do it up here, they get one department.
That went into place by the board because of several calls that took place.
Well, that's been-
Where there was incidents that the township supervisors felt there was an additional department that was needed to be dispatched.
That's been a
because
year
of
ago,
Lack of
or
manpower.
better. That's been
Lack
2
of-
years ago.
Qualified individuals going to the call.
And those people are no longer active with our fire department. None of them.
I understand that. The Township Safety Committee recently looked into an incident that happened at a fire on Rogers Ferry Road. We looked into that. The committee made suggestions. We met with both departments. We met with you guys. We asked for certifications. We saw those certifications. We made a recommendation as far as the amount of drills and what we want to see out of you guys, what you wanted to do. But that's where it stands. The township hasn't changed from where we were at. No, so we haven't changed from where we were, the changes that occurred about 18 months ago or so. When there were several incidences that resulted in the board stepping in and directing the 911 center to dispatch both Vernon departments on the eastern side of 79. And that's been in place now for 2 years and we haven't changed it. Now is the time we look at making that change? Maybe it is, but we haven't made that change, so that's why what's occurring is occurring.
I think it's time to look into it.
Well, I certainly, applaud that you guys do what you do, and you're here concerned that you want to do more than you're being asked to do. So I think we should definitely look into it.
Exactly,
And-
yes.
And the past is the past, we're going to move ahead.
It's my understanding that you guys, for lack of a better term, have jumped through all the hoops
Yeah,
and should get the recognition and responsibility that you deserve.
I agree with you.
Exactly.
Okay, we're on the same page there.
Because we've been providing all our paperwork and all the certs.
Right.
We have 30 members down there right now. And
Great.
we train 3 times a week. I'm sending them all through school and everything like that.
3 times a week.
3 times a week. 'Cause I
If
don't have-
somebody can't make it one time, they can make it next time, or people double train during the week on whatever we're doing.
Well, then I think we are lax by not having addressed this earlier.
Right.
And thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Okay, thank you,
So,
Thank you, nice hat.
thank you.
yes,
Proud of it.
thank you, Gene.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Citizen comment? Appreciate everybody coming out to support
Yeah.
your president tonight.
Good to see a strong
That's
showing.
great, really, appreciate it. Nothing else? Okay, thank you. We'll move right into approval of minutes for September 2nd, 2021, regular meeting.
Make that motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Okay, finances. Motion to direct treasurer to issue checks for the approved vouchers due for payment.
So moved.
We already looked at all the invoices.
Second.
So, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Motion to ratify payroll for the employees from August 29th through 2021 through September 26th and the supervisor's pay.
So moved.
Motion, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. No correspondence this evening? And moving right along, police report, Chief Detzel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good evening, everyone. Tonight, I'm going to talk about the Vernon Township Police Department's calls for the month of September 2021. For the month, we received 158 calls for service, bringing a yearly total to 1,418. We had 20 motor vehicle accidents. We had 5 traffic stops for violations of the traffic code. We issued 2 traffic citations. We also issued 12 criminal citations, which would cover retail thefts, etc. like that. We assisted 1 citizen. We gave 3 traffic warnings out, 2 ordinance violations, which were warnings. We attended 4 court hearings over at District Judge Lincoln Zillhaber's office on Route 19. We traveled a total of 2,799 miles on patrol for the month of September. And I have a couple things I'd like to talk about for a couple of minutes. One of them is that we're getting a lot of problems with scams again. And folks, please, before you send any of your money, call myself, call the department. We'll look into it and see if it's legitimate. If it's legitimate, before you send any money, we'll help you verify it so you're not going to lose. There's people that are doing this that are out of the United States that are doing it, and there's no way to retrieve your money if you lose it. I mean, we've tried. We've been in touch with not only state police, but the Attorney General's office. And when these people set up in others, some are even in like South America, and they have a way that they're using the phones and they're enticing people to send money. Please don't. Call us first. Vehicles. We're having problems again with people leaving their vehicles unlocked at night. The thing is, I want to stress on this one a little bit. When people say their car was broke into, it's broke into if a window is smashed, a door is pried open, that's a break-in. When they enter the vehicle because it's not locked, it's unlawful entry, but it's not a break-in. And the thing is, I want to stress this, that all the departments have had issues that somebody's going around opening doors, and one department even had a vehicle taken because keys were in the vehicle. I mean, this is the thing, folks. If they're unlocked and you got people at night that are out, it's all over. It's all over the county. It's in Erie County, too. It's happening. The other issue is tonight I want to talk about school buses. I have with me a couple of notes here that I made because it's very serious with the school buses. First of all, our number one thing with our department is to watch our children because we don't want anything to happen to our kids. And folks, when you see the school bus lights on, you must come to a stop. There's absolutely no other answer for this except to bring that vehicle to a complete stop if those lights are on that bus. Example, 322 out here. We have a lot of kids who ride the buses, and people think that if the bus is going west on 322, they're coming east. They don't have to stop. Not true. You must stop. It's a heavy-duty fine. It's under section, anybody would like to look this up, it's under section 3345 of the Vehicle Code. And just to give you an example of what you're looking at if you're convicted of violating this section, the fine is $300. Costs are going to be approximately $85, so you're just under $400. If you receive 6 points on your license, you get an automatic suspension or a class. If it's a first offense, you have to attend a class. If it's second or more, there'll be a suspension. With this fine, which is approximately $385, you will automatically be subject to a 60-day license suspension. Your license is gone for 60 days. And when you can drive again legally, you still have 5 points on that license. So any infraction at all will cause a second suspension of license. So this is very serious. So folks, we're out here, we're trying to give warnings. All week we've been out here as much as possible. One of my officers come up with the idea to go along with the school bus. And when the school bus is in, if you would picture the travel lane, they've been in the passing lane. Amanda's been doing, Amanda Kosterman, my officer's been out there. And what she's done is activated the emergency lights on the police car. So you see not only the bus with the red light on, you see our police car with red and blue lights on. If you go past that, we're gonna cite you. So folks, we don't wanna cite you, but you gotta pay attention to school buses. And other than that, I just wish everybody have a nice Halloween for all the kids that trick or treat and everything, and that's pretty much my report for the night.
All right. Any other questions?
On that same note with the school buses, over the last couple of years, I have noticed a dramatic increase in the people pulling off the road, completely off the road, both directions when an ambulance comes down the road. Not just the people that are traveling the same direction, but I'm seeing people pull off both. The ambulance has the entire road.
That's a good thing.
Which I have not seen that in the past, but now I'm seeing it all the time. And I just think that's great. I mean, our drivers have wised up and they're giving all the room to the ambulance. And I think that's great. But this school bus thing is a problem, especially on 322 because it's so wide.
Right, and a lot of folks don't realize that. They think in their mind they're driving and they see the buses on the other side of the road. You still got to stop because that child could decide for whatever reason to run across, and there you are. You must stop. That's it. The red lights, you got to stop.
That can't be preached enough.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I gotta ask, any accidents at the roundabout?
Oh, sure. Oh, yes.
Is there any one direction that's worse, you feel?
They seem to be coming faster from the west going east. It seems like the folks have figured it out. If they get in there, they get the right of way, so they're coming at a pretty good clip. In fact, our manager was with me this morning in my cruiser, and I think he'll attest to the fact that we actually had a fellow slow down when he realized who we were.
I thought I was gonna get to play with the lights.
Yeah.
I've had them coming from Meadville and they're just like a drag race to try and cut in front of me. And I'm going on, I go, whoa, and I have to stop because they're not stopping, they're going.
But I must add on the note, we've had, probably, if I was to actually do the numbers, there's probably been more fender benders since we've had the roundabout. But I will say this, I can't think of one accident where any person has been injured. And personally, I'd much rather see a fender damage than I would a person have a serious bodily injury. And that's his cut down.
Yeah,
So
Detroit Stamps has things out every day.
Were there any at the other lights?
No,
No.
no, not this month. There was one close to one of the intersections down by Dairy Queen, but it wasn't because of the light. But we did have an increase in you'll see there, from last month to this month, we had quite an increase in crashes. So,
And 20, that's quite a few.
yep.
You had the two different ones.
That's
People going on vacation,
20%
not thinking,
of the
distracted.
the total calls in 1 month. Yeah. All right, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Next, we have Road Department. Let Darren Minsky, Roadmaster, your turn.
Thank you, Chairman Maloney. Good evening, Supervisors. Starting with September's road report, repaired 2 sinkholes and patched some potholes on Swamp Road. We helped Salisbury Township spray patch. Salisbury, in return, brought in their tar buggy and helped us spray patch on Ontario Street, Woodside, Carline, Hank Street, intersection, Cotton Road, Van Horn, Keyword Hill, Patricia, the cracks on Patricia and Nancy. Williams, Faust, Pine, spots on South Watson Run. Finished West Vernon off, did some spots on Brown Hill, Car Hill, and there's a big cracked area in the parking lot down at Roche Park, and we did that for 5 days. John Maurer, street care, took down 2 dangerous leaning trees on Swamp Road. The heavy rains we had there in August, beginning of September, the trees were starting to pull out of the swamp and leaning out over the road area and come down. So, So swap off some loose stone and dirt off of Bailey Road intersection. Installed a new 12-inch by 20-foot double-wall plastic driveway pipe from Miller on Williams Street. Installed new flags at the roundabout and at the township building. Mowed berms, boom mowed brush on North Watson, Williams, Coleman Road intersection, and Danoon Roads. Bruce and Mary Leach checked the timing of the traffic light controller at McDonald's and installed the pedestrian crossing light pole and a new base at Shaw Avenue traffic light. We checked roads after storms on the 1st, 15th, and 23rd. Cleaned up some limbs and a few clogged pipes. Sign maintenance, a new 45-mile-an-hour sign on North Watson and 2 new school bus signs on North Watson. New hidden driveway signs on Middle and on McClintock roads. New stop sign post on Hollis Road and a new stop sign on Mill Street. Installed a new 12-inch by 40-foot double-wall plastic driveway pipe for roads on Cutter Road. Dug out and paved the Car Hill Road cross pipe project. Installed new steel roofing at the dugouts in Roche Park. 8 roofs were done. Scott and Bob did a great job on them, and they've been working on the new dugout down at Lincoln Avenue. Everything's going well with that. They're doing a great job. So. Under equipment maintenance, truck 1 repaired the front lights. Truck 2, we got the truck back from Hafer's. They rebuilt the engine and a new turbo. Truck 4 greased new left front wheel bearings and hub. Truck 5, the ECM coolant tube valve and exhaust valve on that manifold. On the John Deere Tiger boom mower, installed a new lower frame and greased, and the John Deere backhoe greased. That's all I have.
Any questions? On those dugouts in Roach Park, is that all of them then?
Yes, so all the dugouts have steel roofs on them. So, with Birch Park, they all do. They replaced some lumber with that. Next spring, I plan on having them painted, and those dugouts will be good for a long time.
What color did you put on?
So it's down there at the parks, most of the shelters and some of the other pavilions and stuff we have, they were a light green. Unfortunately, the manufacturer didn't manufacture that color anymore, so it's a little darker green. But I'm sure once the sun hits it for a little bit, they'll fade, and it looks good. They're sharp.
Oh, I'm not worried about
Yeah,
that.
so it looks good down there. I mean, the
Yeah.
guys did a great job.
Yeah, wonderful.
That's a beautiful facility down there.
Yeah. Okay. No other questions then? Thank you. Admin zoning report, Robert Horvath.
Yeah, really, we just talked about the first part of our report. I wanted to thank the road department. They did an excellent job down at Roach Park. Not gonna lie, it was a little bit of a test. They did so good on it. I put them to task down at Lincoln Avenue rebuilding the entire dugouts. So I don't think they knew what they were getting into when I first had them just start with the roofs. But once that got going, I said, hey, what do you think about building a whole dugout? So things have been going good. Also this month, after you guys approved at our September meeting, the CDBG front entryway project, we completed all the paperwork. The notice to proceed has been issued. Based off the pre-construction meeting that involved all the contractors, representatives from PCE, the county planning office, and myself, we're hopeful the new sidewalk and ramp portion of that project should be in before the snow flies. Some of the electrical components are going to take a while, with some of the lead times for these products stretching out close to 20 weeks. So we're going to be into early part of next year before we see that project completed, but hopefully we'll see some work on it very soon. Also this past month, a lot of planning and work was put into the 2022 budget, which we went over our work session tonight. It appears we'll be able to complete all of our projects for next year, as well as continue to provide the same level of service that our residents have grown accustomed to, without any increases to our tax or fee schedules. Really like to thank my department heads for their hard work and cooperation on getting the budget this far, and I'm hopeful we'll be able to advertise this budget or one very similar to it at our next meeting. Zoning and planning, although it's late in the year, there is some activity to report on the corridor. I'm sure everybody's noticed McDonald's has started a remodel and renovation. It's close to $225,000 in upgrades that include work to the facade, new ADA restrooms and dining room upgrades, so that'll be look nice when it's all said and done. Also, Harbor Freight has begun to work on opening their new location at the former People's Department Store. We welcome Harbor Freight to the township and wish them well with their new store. It's a great addition to the township, glad to see them. And I'm optimistic this late season buzz of development will carry over to a busy 2022 for development in Vernon Township. And that's my report, and just wanted to add, like Randy did, hope everybody's safe later on this month with trick-or-treating and Halloween, and watch out for the kids.
Okay, thank you, Rob. Any questions for Ron? How long is that McDonald's?
Not long. It's supposed to be a quick project. I don't have the exact time frame, but they should be done pretty soon.
Looks like they're really going to town.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Rob. Next, engineers report. Ashley Porter, consulting engineer.
Good evening, Supervisor. Did want to report, follow up on Rob. We've had some inquiries for development on the corridor. We're hopeful that they'll spring forth next year. You see the continued development at the Vernon Place. The roadway will still be closed for a bit yet, but the curbs are going in, paving will be laid, and the improvements will be forthcoming shortly. And hopefully we have a busier year next year, but we're hopeful that things will keep moving on.
Great.
I did want to also follow up on Rob's comment with regard to the front entranceway. That work will be ongoing, and the improvements at the end of the day will be significant, but undoubtedly there'll be some inconveniences during the construction. It's a complete renovation of the entranceway. All the concrete will be removed, the new doors. So we're trying to coordinate that with everybody as best we can, but there'll certainly be some inconveniences. And when you encounter those, please remember it'll be better at the end of the day.
Do you have a start date yet on that?
Well, we had the pre-construction meeting, so they're getting the materials together. We expect they'll be on site. I don't remember the exact date, but it'll be very shortly.
Would there be any issue with the voting? Getting in?
I don't think so.
The voting,
We'll manage. I mean,
there will be some inconveniences. We're trying to work around and minimize as much as we can. Won't obstruct. I mean, don't have to get in, of course.
Sure.
That's a very valid point. Any other questions for Ashley? Thank you, Ashley.
Yeah, well.
Next, solicitor's report, Jeff Mellon, Schaefer Law Firm.
Good evening, Supervisors. Not much new to report tonight. Things run smoothly in the township, and that's always a good thing. I'm going to be working with Rob and probably Ashley on looking at the fireworks ordinance that we talked about earlier this evening. Other than that, things look pretty good and pretty smooth for the next month anyway. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? New business, we went over this at the work session, so motion to approve trick-or-treat night at Vernon Township to be held October 28th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m.
I make that motion?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, so we came up with that because that's pretty much the surrounding neighbors here, municipalities, city, which always works best, I think.
That moves it back to the traditional Thursday, right?
Correct, yes.
Parade on Saturday.
Thursday. Okay, and we have on here that we have a golf cart we use down at Roach Park that we're gonna sell. Put that out if anyone's interested, you can contact Rob here at the township on that. Everybody good with that?
It has a dump bed or something on the back, right?
Yeah.
It's not a...
And you said we haven't used it in a couple of years, so.
It's more of a utility cart. I mean,
Right.
it looks like a golf cart. It's built by, say, Cushman or
I
somebody
think
like
it's
that.
a club car.
Is it a Cushman?
Club
Club
car.
car. Club. Okay. No old business. Brings us around to upcoming meetings. November 4th, 2021 will be the Vernon Township Supervisors Work Session at 6:30 and followed by the Supervisors meeting at 7:30. So November 4th, work session 6:30, Supervisors meeting at 7:30. And we will have supervisors' comments at this time. We'll start with you tonight, Gary.
I'd like to wish everybody a really nice, happy Halloween. Be safe, enjoy the trick or treating, all the costumes the kids make. And to reiterate what the chief was saying, we've got to watch out for these school buses. I mean, that's our kids. And I mean, our kids and our grandkids, that's very, very important. And other than that, just, enjoy the fall weather, except for the rain's going on now.
Joe?
I'm going to take a little different direction than I'm going to. With the prevalence of cancer in this area, I don't know if anybody's aware of it, but October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So for those that we love or those that we lost, please keep that in mind. Take care of yourself and do the appropriate screenings and doctor's visits and such. And other than that, enjoy the Halloween and the fall season.
Thank you. Fritz?
Just to kind of re-mention a couple of things that Rob touched on, and also Ashley, to welcome Harbor Freight. It's great to get them down there at the plaza in that building that might have sat for quite a while. And R.E. Michaels, they've done a nice job with the Toy World building over here, the Sears building. And McDonald's, as we mentioned also, that they're tearing that up. Hopefully they're kind of come up with a little better system to get in through the drive-through, because it builds right up, as we talked about, clear out the 322, people that come out on there. And then the Eagle Medical Center, that's looking great. Hopefully there'll be something for that road to go back to other than their big main building there. It's looking nice. And next time this month, geez, we'll be talking about Thanksgiving. That's kind of hard to believe, right? Where'd it go?
Right.
Yeah. Everybody have a safe Halloween and watch the kids, and that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to thank Armstrong Utilities for televising our meeting tonight, and the Meadville Tribune for being here to cover the meeting, and thank everyone out there watching it. Thank all the firemen that were here tonight supporting their fire department and all they do. We're blessed with 2 departments, and they're good men and women that are concerned with our safety. So I applaud them. Happy Halloween, and with that, I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.